just crime and violence, terrible neighborhoods, real bad. You know, a lot of crime, a lot of violence. And then at 13 years of age, he gets adopted by this guy Cus D'Amato, who's one of the greatest boxing minds of all time, and he's also a hypnotist. So from age 13 on, he's hypnotizing Mike and telling Mike he's the greatest of all time. He's the greatest of all time. He's going to be the greatest heavyweight the world has ever seen. And then on top of it, you have crazy genetics. Mike, I had Teddy Atlason. He told me that when Mike was 13, he was knocking out grown men. And they wouldn't believe he was 13. He'd bring him to boxing tournaments. They're like, how old's that kid? He goes, 13. He goes, he's fucking 16. He goes, okay, he's 16. He put him in with the 16-year-olds. He'd knock the 16-year-olds out. Yeah, he was a freak. So you have that sometimes. You know, you have kids that just have extraordinary genes. And then you have this perfect storm of a very intelligent person who's deeply neglected as a child and then adopted by a genius. Not just a boxing genius, but a genius in terms of psychology and life and philosophy, and he understood war. And he was also managed by this guy, Jim Jacobs, excuse me. And Jim Jacobs had Jim Jeffries tapes, or James Jeffries. He had Jack Johnson and Jack Dempsey. He had all the film footage of like fighters that some of the greatest boxers of all time. Willie Pep, you know, Floyd Patterson. He had all this old footage on reels, and he was like the biggest collector of old boxing footage. And Mike was being managed by him. So Mike would sit there all day and watch Jack Dempsey fight, watch Jack Johnson fight, watch Stanley Greb, watch these old killers. And they had this incredible convergence of all these things that created Mike Tyson in like 1986, where people are like, holy shit.
This is a very, very exciting organization here, and for sure, you know, how could you not look to become a two sport world champion, and something as wild as a bare knuckle fighting organization. So, you know, and like I said, the trajectory for growth here at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship is above and beyond anyone else. Other sports and organizations are almost at a peak of where they're at. We are just on this trajectory that is non-stop, and you want to be a part of this. Any real fighter, as I said earlier on, any real fighter wants their name on this dais. Any real fighter wants to carry that world title, to be a world Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship champion. It'd be exciting to see these cross over. And make no mistake about it now, this is a viable option, and in my opinion, the only option. I don't want to see, nor do I give a fuck about UFC fighters going to PFL or going to another promotion. You need to break it up. You need to mix it up. You need to come and try something new to really break into that next level of, you know, superstardom, of respect, of money, of power.
What's up, everybody? It's Fight Week again, live this Saturday night from the Apex here in Las Vegas. The main event, Lemos versus Jandaroba, number 3 versus number 5 in the strawweight division. Couple things I want to point out before we get started. The prelims start at 5 o'clock on East Coast. The main card starts at 8 o'clock on East Coast. You can watch the prelims on ESPN2, the main card on ESPN, the network. The entire thing is on ESPN+. A couple fights you might not know about. Lee versus Emil. Lee earned a contract by winning the Road to the UFC tournament in Asia and has already got one UFC win over Blake Builder. He's got an aggressive Korean style, and he really loves to go to the body. Emil, undefeated, 9-0, is a lot like Lee. He puts a ton of pressure on his opponents and pours it on as the fight continues. He's relentless, striking from every angle no matter where the fight goes. He too is looking for his second UFC win after coming off a stellar Contender Series win. This should be a very good fight. Another fight you might not know about. Durden versus Silva. Number 14th ranked submission artist Cody Durden looks to defend his place in the top 15 when he faces hard-hitting Bruno Silva. Cody likes to come out strong and imposes excellent takedown submission game. Cody is very well-rounded with 11 of 16 wins coming by finish. Bruno Silva is riding a 3-fight win streak, all coming by finish and all before the 3rd round. This fight should open up fast and furious, so you do not want to miss it. Ladies and gentlemen, live this Saturday night from the Apex here in Las Vegas. If you don't know, now you know.
Pessoa que de alguma forma me incentivou quando eu estava em bar bebendo E ele em vídeo falou que eu iria ficar em bar.
At the end of the day, no one knows who the f he is, and he's gonna be that guy when I'm world champion, when I'm a legend. He's gonna be at some pub talking some about I beat that guy one time.
Mas ele me resgatou.